Welcome to the July 10th bhyve production user call. We have Hans, Patrick, Andrew, Gibran, Mark, John, and myself, Michael, so far. And Gibran, you have an over-provisioning question. What is that question?
I just wanted to understand how bhyve manages over provisioning.
Of what
Because
resource?
CPU
Ah,
specifically.
okay.
Um, because I'm new to bhyve relatively. I used to work mostly on vSphere and things like that. And I recently set up a host machine, 32 cores, 64 threads. And after setting up all my VMs, I realized that I'd allocated 66 cores to VMs, and bhyve was set up and they were all running. And I want to understand the logic behind that issue, how that worked. I just want to understand that because to me, it shouldn't work.
Well, I mean, it's each thread is a thread on the upper OS, so it
Yeah.
comes down to the OS's scheduling.
So, okay.
Doesn't
So sometimes you're going to have, you know, situations where, one's not using the actual processing thread on the real physical CPU, and it'll get just sliced out to something else, just like any other process. bhyve's no different.
Okay. All right.
Now, does that also apply if you're doing CPU pinning?
With CPU pinning, it may get a little weird because then it can't necessarily move it as dynamically. But the upside is, since it's not moving, you're not running into problems with actually having it have to move its data around.
John, do you have any insights on CPU pinning? I believe you've probably done more than any of us little people.
Pinning just pins the thread to a core, and that prevents cache blowouts. I I don't typically have much problem. Normally, it's the high load systems and latency, low latency systems where we want to do the pinning. I also think I made a comment that if you are doing lots and lots of I/O, depending upon how you're doing it, you might want to run procstat to look for the block threads and pin those also.
And pinning doesn't prevent you from over-provisioning.
Someone's echoing. Maybe John. You've got fascinating audio. To watch the I/O. I got distracted there.
Run procstat to see the block I/O threads that bhyve has.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful.
You also mentioned you were running your cores with hyper-threading enabled.
Yeah.
And this all depends on your load. You might want to disable hyper-threading, or at least be careful if you assign threads that you use different hyper-thread cores. Whether or not you use the A side and the B side of the HT core can affect your performance.
Per VM or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Very cool. And broadly in the future, the fact that, say ARM64 and Ampere just give you a core for everybody. There's some great narratives out there about giving every VM a hardware core, every disk a hardware core, and having finally those resources rather than faked hyper-threaded ones. So,
and even in the x86 world, where there's a lot of talk of getting rid of hyper-threading, at least I think in the Intel camp.
I see.
Does this call for an Oprah Winfrey themed T-shirt, like core for you and a core for you and
Exactly.
a core
Yes.
for you too?
Hence my hand gesture and nothing more. But yes, that was a reference. You got it. Do you have a link for the 9PFS commit? Is John? It sounds like. Uh, if there is one, great. I have not had a free moment to watch any commit.
There's a whole bunch of them in the branches. I'll post something.
If you got
in a
them,
minute.
thank you. Yeah, or even just the pathway to watch for. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Andrew, you have some questions.
Well,
Unless we just covered them.
no, although maybe related to some stuff that we've been talking about.
Please.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, of course. I'll stop share.
Share. And that totally is not what I want.
Ooh, I see a spreadsheet.
Oh, you do see a spreadsheet?
Yep. Very
Okay.
red and white and blue. How patriotic.
So the red stuff is what I'm interested in. What I've done is these are the exact same hardware, not even identical models. They're literally the same machine. I just swapped out the boot disk, and I did OmniOS bhyve, Proxmox KVM, and FreeBSD bhyve. It's actually even the same data set. I just exported and imported between the three. And so this is a test that my customer was complaining about. And I don't know what's going on with Proxmox that it gets even so much, twice as the performance apparently of FreeBSD. But I'm also seeing a huge performance difference between OmniOS bhyve and FreeBSD bhyve. And I guess I'm seeing the numbers using CrystalMark on the right side of things. It's clear that that's the problem, but I don't know why.
May I post a snapshot of this in the doc?
Yes, I actually, the one thing that I can't show, I've closed off so you can't see.
Good, thank you.
Yeah,
Specifically because I know we're recording.
Right.
This is Sylve 2025, right?
This is what?
What version of the
2022. Sorry.
2022. Okay.
Which hardware emulation are you using for the virtual storage on FreeBSD?
It's the NVMe for both OmniOS and FreeBSD. We're using NVMe.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are running on spinning media, but since it's consistent across all three, I'm okay with that.
What does Proxmox see? A SATA drive? A VirtIO?
Proxmox also sees NVMe.
Oh, okay.
It's a little tricky to get it to do it. You can't do it from their UI, but it is possible to do it. So for consistency's sake, I went ahead and did it.
Great.
So, the fact that I'm getting this kind of, it's sequential, but this kind of thing for reads and writes, particularly the right side of things on Proxmox.
What about backing storage? What are the hypervisors running for the VM storage?
It's a set of 3 VDEVs of 3 spinning media each.
And
so this looks to me very much like it's just in cache.
Is it ZFS for all of them?
Yes. In fact, it's the same pool re-imported.
Oh, okay. So just checking, because maybe if Proxmox is running on XFS and we just have the ZFS right overhead or something.
No, I try to get these as identical as possible. The only difference is I swapped the boot disk. So I have 3 boot disks, swap the boot disk in the machine, trying to be as scientific as possible. It's possible that since each of these have to have, I can't just bring the configuration from one machine to another for the VM. I had to create that separately. So it's possible there's something going on there, particularly between OmniOS and FreeBSD. But the disk access times for Proxmox look to me like it's doing something weird with caching that maybe is not correct. Like it's returning things before it should be. I don't know. So I guess my question is, one, does anyone have any thoughts?
John
And
has a comment, but he'll jump in. Okay.
and two, the other thing that would be useful is if anybody knows how to, for FreeBSD, be able to identify the full command line that's executed. I used the VM bhyve interface for setting it up, so I don't know exactly what a full command line is. I'm not sure how to get that.
There's a VM bhyve log normally associated with each VM in VM bhyve.
Okay, where is it, please?
There's two log files. Wherever you store your VM configuration for VM bhyve, it keeps two log files: bhyve.log, which is the output of the bhyve process, and vm-bhyve.log, where it writes its own status, and you can get the various arguments that it's passing from there.
Fantastic.
Not exactly, but the command line can be constructed from that.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I was looking
Bingo.
for. That's
Yeah,
my
they've thought
question.
about that, which is nice. Okay.
I was sure it was somewhere, I just didn't know where.
No, sure. I would be curious if you can, are you allowed to spin up a newer version of Windows Server? I'd just be curious if somehow they've, optimized the heck out of it, maybe from the Windows side, and it gives you this rather surprising information. I don't know.
About 2025 or staying on this latest version of 2022?
Good point. 22 is pretty recent. Maybe give 25 a spin if it's easy. I'm just spit.
We don't have any images yet, so I'll have to make one.
Well,
or
then
Andrew and I will have to work on one. But yeah.
That is fascinating. Whew.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Okay, no worries. So, duly noted, graphics are in the dock, and to those listening, we welcome your ideas. And did you throw any other, just maybe go ahead and do some other utility than Crystal Disk Mark, be it AJA or Blackmagic or something, purely to make sure it's not confused by something. I don't know.
I just kind of did them as a quick test. I'm hearing myself.
John, do you have something? Go ahead and say it, John, and then mute. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I would back up to your base hypervisor for each of your OSs on your drives and use VirtIO or your other favorite utility. Chances are you've got some differences in your operating system's perspective on sync versus async and caching, and that's going to be the easiest way to tickle that out. As far as bhyve is concerned, something I find very helpful is you can add -o config.dump equals true, and that will cause bhyve to dump out its complete configuration, but not actually run the VM. It's all documented.
Yep, and you can pull that from the log file and just add in the like -o config dump, which might be like underscore. So that's one, but indeed, there's a great, I believe, Brendan Gregg interview or blog post where they were chasing a performance issue that was purely one digit being off, and it was correct the entire time, but the numbers were terrifying. So I don't know if you've tried VirtIO, but it lets you specify the engine it uses and a whole lot of things. So just make sure you're not chasing a wild goose with the utility being.
So we're thinking a caching level, a caching above just the information contained in the pool.
never rule out something stupid.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Okay. And then you could do that with the same configuration. Go ahead, John.
The drives you're using with your OS, are they identical?
Yes.
Okay, and the reason I ask is, for instance, in the past, I've messed with like some Seagates, and you can have like an ST 1200MM, but if the 4 digits behind the MM are not identical, they can vary your caching and the turbo and all that other stuff, which will affect this.
The boot disks are identical model numbers. I actually, for one of the tests, had to go track down a matching disk to the other two.
Exactly.
Because I specifically thought about that. And then for the actual data storage part, it's literally the same array.
Yeah, and your testing seems disciplined. Good work for that, because it's so easy to test apples and oranges and then, gee, wonder.
Well, I'm glad somebody appreciates it, because I kept making that arguing about that with my boss. So it's like, no, I need the test to be scientific. I need it as close as possible.
Good, nicely done. Oh, so yes, John's given the config syntax there, the config dump syntax. So there it is.
Thank you very much.
Super.
I put another suggestion in chat. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No worries. I'll put it in the doc. Try and do it in context. And if those 9 PFS commits show up, great, because it's about to scroll off the screen and wisdom will be lost. Okay. Andrew, any other questions, or is that the heart of it? That is definitely interesting.
That's the heart of it.
I have a question about KVM on FreeBSDs. How up to date is it? I know on OmniOS they haven't really kept it up to date.
KVM in what regard? The Linux hypervisor?
Yeah, the hypervisor, yeah, like the QEMU and KVM tools and suite and stuff that run virtual machines on FreeBSD. Do we know if it's kept up to date and sync with?
QEMU should be pretty good, but there's no notion of KVM, although I think I saw maybe a GSOC project for bhyve accelerated QEMU because, but KVM is purely Linux, and and also SmartOS, because they did some acrobatics to get it.
Yeah, we do have an ancient version of it in Illumos.
Bingo.
Right. That was
which I have not tested in my testing. That was something that I maybe was thinking about adding to the testing.
Well, I wasn't thinking about testing on OmniOS specifically, but since Proxmox is using KVM, if FreeBSD could run KVM, then you could. If I didn't know it wasn't on the FreeBSDs as much. So if the same system is on it and up to date, maybe using that as a test in the FreeBSD to see if there's a difference between the hypervisor. But I think what John was suggesting, testing FIO at the hypervisor operating system level, is probably the best way to see if there's any OS level shenanigans first.
Oh,
FreeBSD cannot run KVM.
Right. And
not at all. Any hypervisor is tightly integrated with a host operating system's kernel. So
although it's on Illumos. Go ahead and do also
that's just because we ported it.
A smoke test with your, say, Linux distro of choice or a FreeBSD VM image, and every time you run the Windows one, just go ahead and literally replace the boot disk with, say, a FreeBSD VM image, and just see if those numbers. Granted, you won't have the same crystal disk mark, but if you can get over to like FIO or IOZone, and just see if, with the hypervisor unmodified, see how other OSs behave. Because I suspect with crystal disk mark, you might just be seeing something arbitrarily weird. And does it feel slower, and your applications feel slower? Or it's purely the
application?
Okay, thank you.
The application definitely feels slower.
Got it.
And I'm doing these tests to figure out why.
Yeah. Amen. Okay. Interesting. That you should have led with that, but definitely feels slower. Okay, then it's
sorry.
Okay.
I generally don't get into this kind of testing unless I'm trying to figure out a problem.
You've come to the right place. Other final thoughts on what might just crazy things for him to try that might be to blame? Keep us posted. That is fascinating. And no, we do not want to see this like major performance bottleneck there that might be completely arbitrary. Okay. And John, once again, you have also shared some awesome wisdom I'll put in there, which is using Procstat for the bhyve PID. Brilliant. I know you're speaking from experience. So that's in the chat, Andrew, and it's in the doc now. Procstat HT bhyve PID. Fantastic. Maybe there's pinning that can come to the rescue. Let's see. Patrick, did you find the links for the VirtIO networking update?
Yes, of course. Just
Fantastic. Chat's
Here it
fine
is.
or in context, either one.
A minute, where are we? Where's the link? Here's the link. And that how many decades is that bug report out now? Just a sec. It's 2012. So
Oh goodness, okay.
13 years. That one.
Yeah,
And
okay, let's take a look.
I think people mainly responsible for the network stack in core or close to core developers still have not realized that this is a fundamental problem which was nailed by this Alexander Fedorov
Yeah.
in December 24. That's comment 37, where he said you just have an incomplete implementation of VirtIO.
Yes, correct.
You don't do partial checksums, and KVM relies on partial checksums to optimize packet passing between VMs on the same host. And then if FreeBSD is running as a router on a VM and passes the packet to some outside system, then the checksums are all broken. So that's that. And Mark Linnemann tries to push it and bring it back on the agenda of some responsible people, and a guy named Michael Tüxen. I just Googled him. He's a professor of computer science in Germany.
Okay.
In Münster, he said he's working with Timo Völker on checksum offloading for bhyve, and maybe they could hit two flies with one swat.
Yes, that would be great. Now, let's see if I can see this page. Let's see extensions, blah, 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 blah. FreeBSD, I'm not sure that's helpful, and yes, it may reduce some AI traffic, but what is it going to fill up? Blah, 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 read and write. Options, HubSpot, site specific. Am I the only one on the planet to encounter this on FreeBSD bug tracking page?
I don't. I get a short splash screen that says, yeah, doing something anti-DOS, and then I get to the main page.
Great.
They're probably running Anubis, I'm guessing.
They are. No, it says it right there.
Sorry, I'm not looking at my screen.
No worries. Manage extensions, goes to extensions, full access, blah, 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 blah.
Anubis requires JS in order to work.
Yeah, that's great. On that do it? Extension, maybe.
I find myself not using certain websites if I can't get to them with my stuff disabled. They're lost.
Yeah, funny that. Cool. We have to trust them on that. I great. Thanks, guys. Solved it. Although it was a great talk at BSDCan, a great lightning talk towards the end there on Anubis. Okay, other links such as any of the bridging links. I know Lex has been posting in various spots. FreeBSD net.
No, nothing specific. I just noticed some discussion flying by, and Lexi was pretty busy about it. We have now the new tunable that disables IP addresses on bridge members, and in that, while working on that, they are trying to bring in some more optimizations. Yeah, there's things are moving in that regard.
Cool. No, lots has been going on. I'm impressed. Okay, and Patrick, you also brought up the notion of a guest agent. We had it on a recent call. So what do you consider a short path to something valuable? I think we identified a wish list of the desired functions. and I'll on another browser try to trick my browser into reading bugs.freebsd.org, which I visited for decades, but now I can't. So you're digging up. Oh, here we go. Mark, thank you. Mark, give us some context on that.
So I was trying to trying to just establish communication with the QEMU guest agent, since that can do most of what we need. So I wouldn't have to rebuild my own
Okay.
guest agent. So why not reuse something that's already built? And all I have to do is provide a VirtIO console and then make jQuery or JSON queries to the input to the console. On OmniOS, I'm having issues getting the VirtIO console to even pass through, even manually with the bhyve configs. Um, so I haven't tested this on FreeBSD, but I think this might be a legitimate way of getting guest agent without having to rebuild an entire tool and just be able to query an existing tool that's installed in the machine just through the VirtIO console. Everybody else in the Loomis community was suggesting that I use the serial, their built-in LPC low port count serial, like COM ports and stuff to do
Sure.
this.
Yeah.
But that was having some conflicts with the C-login or the shell that I was getting into the machine. And on Windows, it'd be SAC. On Linux, it'd just be a terminal or a serial connection.
SAC on Windows, I believe.
The
Right.
VirtIO console definitely did work back in the days with a FreeNAS release that must not be named. That's where the first of these two GitHub projects is coming from. The FreeNAS VM tools are for FreeNAS Coral, the thing with Jordan Hubbard in the lead.
Yeah.
And at the time, it ran bhyve as the hypervisor, and these tools worked for guest host communication using VirtIO console. You needed to use at least FreeBSD 12 as the guest, if I remember correctly, but was that 10? I don't
10
know.
as a host.
I remember I needed to upgrade all my virtual machines to what was at the time current to get these FreeNAS VM tools working, but then everything was pretty well good.
Okay. And the Go agent, where is that from? It's from a project.
Also somewhere in IX collection of repositories.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, you've done your homework there. Thank you. Here we go. Paul Vixie. Hello.
It was more or less an issue that someone else has brought up. I hadn't seen a reply to it yet. So, but I think I got closer into what a working config should look like based on his examples. But I haven't tested on FreeBSD. And since I'm having issues on the Lumos, I just need to set up a FreeBSD host and test this.
I believe Andrew has one.
Yep, he just set it up today.
Yeah.
So I don't want to co-opt his project for mine. So.
Oh, the queries. Cool. Thank you. Copy link. Well, okay. My take is yes, keep following that. Example. And you said they were JSON? Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. Other thoughts, observations on guest tools? I don't know if we'll answer anything here now, but definitely I think we came up with a pretty short list of things we would like to have, such that it's nothing too dramatic. Zigo agent. Let's see. Python, Go, Makefile, license, just out of curiosity, IX systems. Marcelo, hey, there you are, BSD licensed, okay. Well, I look forward to your executive summaries, everyone. John, did you find the 9PFS commits, or at least a path to watch? I'm guessing maybe contrib or deep in bhyve's device models. No worries. Patrick, you have a question about EuroBhyveCon? And so to
Yeah,
date,
just
the answer is yes, there will be something. I hope to have some amount of focus on, say, some amazing progress from Hans, who is making some amazing progress, and that just before recording shared that he's making some almost a breakthrough on CPU ID work.
okay. So just in general, it's you who's behind this, and the fact that we
Yes,
have an extra day at
correct.
EuroBhyvecon, that's great. Thank you so very much. Looking forward to it. I got 2 talks accepted this year for Zagreb, so I
Cool.
will definitely attend.
Okay. Hans, do you, not to put you on the spot, do you have something to demonstrate? Is that a wild question?
Well, to demonstrate it, I have it working on my test system.
Do you have,
That's
is
all.
that something that can be on a browser and we see?
No, probably
Oh,
not.
CGIT works, but Bugs doesn't. Yeah, okay, thanks. Great. Ooh, Doug's back. Excellent.
Sorry, I have no idea how to share a screen here.
Bottom green thing, up arrow that may say share based on some OSs.
Sorry, that's not gonna work as I'm on my phone here.
Okay. Did I get the date yet or wrong? My desktop is, no, that's correct for once. My desktop was wrong after Ottawa. Like me. Do you have a different sharing contraption of choice?
Thinking about it.
Okay, like those nifty SSH shareable ones and stuff.
Maybe I have.
Okay.
It'll take a couple of minutes to set up. So
you're on Zoom web browser or a desktop?
on Zoom on my cell phone.
Oh goodness, yeah, that could be tricky unless you just do your camera video.
To do it, well, a video.
You could do video. That might be, wonderfully terrible.
Doesn't really work. Now, give me a few minutes and
Okay,
I'll see if
cool.
I can.
Think about that. John, thank you for those links. I'm delighted that's getting some love. And Andrew, we're hoping you will yell, I found it, and you answered your challenge. Patrick, do you have a sense of what you would like to see at a EuroBhyveCon? I believe you've attended. Did you attend the one in Coimbra?
Yes, sure.
What did you find more valuable, the open discussion or, say, reports on things?
Well, I really like the presentation by the 2 guys from Germany with that embedded controller industrial thingy going on and virtualized windows visible to the customer.
Yes.
And FreeBSD bhyve with a proprietary real-time things running under the hood. That was great. I would love to see some core team or foundation involvement into the conference so we could address issues that might need some foundation attention, maybe some funding, stuff like that.
I do have a doc specific to that is due for some updating, but my goal is indeed to have the Hanses of the world prepare a proposal, and I woke up to lovely news on that. So let's see what he can rig up for sharing, and I'm encouraged. But yeah, to their credit, the foundation has been active with the Sylve development. And I don't know any details, but that's where I first heard about it. And Hazam has been great on these calls. I'm kind of hoping he'll roll in the next little bit. Let me try to find that document.
I guess I'll need to check out the repo if it's time already to make a port from it.
That's a very good question. I don't know what his strategy is, but
I offered to assist with the port building once it was at least ready to the point where you can deploy an actual VM.
And I recall, was it Andrew starting Greenfield the other day? So we're like, oh, just give it a try because it's new and exciting. Oh, formatting. Okay. I've found the incubation document. I will see if there's some changes I can incorporate here and now while waiting on Hans. I know. La, 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 la. Okay, added formatting. Oh. Oh, lots of formatting. So I will drop this in the chat for now. I know, I'm sorry, audience. This is just kind of inside baseball and needs a little updating, but I think Hazam jumped in and made some updates. So let me scroll down to those. Ah. Brilliant. Okay, where are you, Hazam? The IBM progress is kind of stalled. A bunch of us reached out to OSU, OSL. I'm not sure if anyone here cares about power architecture, but there was definitely a little brief resurgence there. I do believe 32-bit power will get quite the axe for FreeBSD 15.
Didn't IBM recently just announce a new iteration?
I wouldn't doubt that, and that's kind of motivation. Yes, indeed. Wow.
Like, I think something came across my news feeds.
Yeah, they did launch something new. I
Uh,
also saw it in my news feed.
just this last week or two?
Yeah, like in the last 10 days.
Well, that's a valid topic.
Power 11.
Yeah, Power 11. I know
It goes to 11.
at
Shit.
work we run the mainframes that run Power 10 currently, so
Here, let me put a link in chat.
Please do. VirtIO. Thank you from IBM.com. I'll take a copy of link.
Yeah, I figure primary sources are always good.
Yes, sir. I don't thought so. Don't think I can afford one, but let's take a look. Ooh,
Fair.
raises the bar. That's okay. PCI bar. I mean, from Munich and New York. Okay.
Yeah, bar.
Say, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can.
Good. Let me know when you want to see the demo.
Oh, yesterday, and IBM has a new power machine. So enjoy that. Oh, I'm probably popped over one too many tabs. I'm going to pop back a tab, and I will stop my share. So are you able to share, or you'll hold up a camera, or what clever hack do you have?
I switched to another device.
Okay, cool.
In fact, it's the laptop of my wife, which is running Ubuntu.
Oh, well, she's a savior.
So let me just set this up quickly.
Yep, sure. And Richard, do you have any topics? Yeah, and from the chat, CentOS tattoo removal can be a challenge. Oh, you've got a 2022 one, so you guys check the. So Andrew, from the chat, Richard says maybe check the power saving features in Server 2022. I wouldn't rule out, I guess, hey, if the OS just sees a device differently, it may say, oh, I'm in like power saving mode because some silliness. I will add that to the list there.
I mean, particularly between FreeBSD and the Lumos bhyve, I would expect the devices to look pretty similar, but I haven't checked the command lines yet.
One would hope, but yeah, no, You can't rule out anything. Oh, anyway, well, thank you for that advice.
And if there is silliness related to that, then that's a case if we need to get more sane defaults and the Illumos side.
Yes, and who knows if it's like ACPI territory or something that just tells it to do the wrong thing. Anyhow, great. Thank you, Richard. Waiting on that amazing demo. And what more you've got?
Yeah, I'm almost ready for it. Give me a second.
No worries. And then, yes, he's had the classic TSO, LRO on networking, but this is storage specific, if I'm not mistaken.
So I think I can share now, if that's okay.
Excellent. Yes, I'm not sharing. Go for it. Let it rip.
Oh, okay. This doesn't work.
And
give me a second.
No worries.
To minimize this. So now.
Yes, I see Zoom Workplace on.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted to show you. I have
stuff.
2 terminals open.
Cool.
So what you see here, what's called Tequila. This is my test machine.
Sure.
And I have a bunch of VMs configured, and I'm using VM2.
If you'll be on one terminal, go ahead and make that bigger. Maybe the font size, some amount of Control Plus might do it.
Oh, exactly. This doesn't work. This is
yes, control
exactly.
scroll.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And let's make this a little bit bigger too.
Cool.
Okay, so we have 2 terminals open. So I have a bunch of VMs. VM2 is a test VM. This is the console for the test VM. It's running FreeBSD 14 something. And yeah, host name is Reaper, in case you're wondering. I have no idea why. So this takes a moment to boot up. Yeah, there's one interesting problem that I have ever since I fixed that network configuration issue that we talked about last week is VM bhyve does no longer correctly manage the VM switch that it created. It's not the one it created. I created statically on the host system. So this is just something that makes things a bit difficult. But okay, so the system's booted. The VM is booted. Now I've added a command to bhyve control. As you can see, I'm typing on a German keyboard, and I'm not used to it.
Yeah, those are wicked.
And I can get the CPU ID configuration that is stored in the kernel. And there's one for each CPU. Because actually, you need different CPU ID values for certain CPU ID leaves, which give you information like the local API ID or where in the CPU topology the core or CPU can be found. So it's all per vCPU. Now, right now you see that there's flex OX1. This means it's legacy handling. So there's a legacy emulation of CPU ID in the bhyve kernel module.
Same as the host, meaning it's a host pass-through?
No, it's not host pass-through. It's
okay.
actually well, to some extent, yes.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of masking and setting of stuff that well, it's not. It can't be the exact same stuff as in a host CPU. So there's some stuff that is masked out, some features like most important feature that is masked out is the support for virtual machines.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you can't run bhyve in bhyve, as far as I know.
Right. There's no.
And there's a couple of
nesting.
other things.
Yep.
So if I log into the system, which doesn't work now, I can run CPU ID. And interestingly, there are several programs that do that, and this one is the one that I found most useful. And I can just look at the CPU ID information for the various leaves that it's getting from the CPU. If you look at this thing here, this is the processor serial number. This processor doesn't have a serial number.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to add using the new feature.
Cool.
Just for reference, there is a raw dump of CPU ID info. This comes in handy to create the CPU ID options that you need to pass to bhyve, because you have to pass an option for each CPU ID leaf that exists.
Okay.
And you have to find out, you have to find out the differences between the various CPUs that you have right now, and pass them to. It's not very user friendly at this time.
Understood.
So let's get into the bhyve configuration for this VM. So you can see here, I have it commented out. There's bhyve options, and this is what it looks like. It's just one option after another.
Brutal.
Yeah, brutal. And there's another line which I've commented out where, so the first one has a set of CPU ID options. So there's, So there's CPU ID, there's the CPU ID leaf, and there's also the CPU ID index. Some CPU ID leaves, or CPU ID functions, whichever way you want to call them, can return different information depending on what you pass in the ECX register. So that's this value here, this 0x00 in this case. But
welcome, Haizam. I'll just throw in there.
There are a few.
Hi guys,
especially CPU ID leaf 4 has several indexes. So there's one option for index 0, and there's another one for index 1, and so on. And these options are are global options. They apply to all vCPUs. And once you have that, let me get a bit down here, because it's really an awful lot of stuff. But it can be automated with a bit of awk.
Sure.
Somewhere down here, if I'm not mistaken, I have vCPU specific options in addition to the global ones. We're getting there. I think we do. Yes, here. So you can see I'm using the global options, and it's in particular for vCPU 1. I'm overriding certain things, and these things that I'm overriding are, I think this is the AP guide here, and of course I'm giving it a different processor serial number just because I can.
Excellent.
So this is where the option ends. So you see, it's really a lot, because you have to specify all CPU ID leaves. This is just because the kernel code that's coming from Illumos, if you give it CPU ID options, it will use all of them, and it will not fall back to what they call legacy handling. Basically, it will not fall back to the CPU ID emulation that's already in the kernel. This is something which I would like to change at some time to make it a bit more user-friendly. So you can say, okay, I want to override a single CPU ID leaf and use the rest.
And use the rest. That would be nice, but...
Or even do something like, I want to flip a bit. I either mask it out or set a bit. Something like that. This is... It's going to be quite complicated to get that into the existing code, because there's weird stuff in this whole CPU ID, the way the CPU ID stuff works. Someone has
John, you've got a question. I can tell.
No, I just want to say this looks really cool. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. So let me uncomment this.
Good luck.
Sorry, I'm not used
on a German keyboard. I know that's.
I'm not used to VI, and I'm not used to a German keyboard.
Brave, very brave.
Okay, so let's stop the VM and restart it. So this should kick me out of on this side. Just wait a moment for it to shut down and come back up.
And I will remain of the opinion that this is Unix, and defaulting to user unfriendliness is better than just clipping its wings. But having a diff makes perfect sense if it's like, oh, I just want to overwrite these 3 flags and leave.
Yeah, that
beautiful.
Totally. So this is
Fantastic.
really just an attempt that I made to make the kernel code as it comes from Illumis, to make that
Amen. Great.
usable, to make it, well, yeah, to allow you to use it, because Illumis code did not come with any user space bits. Okay, let's start it again.
Okay.
Configure the network correctly this time. I have to do this manually every time I'm booting the VM. It sucks.
Personally, I don't think there's a downside to possible for just allowing you to change the specific things you want to change.
Yeah, depending on what you're changing, you can screw it up massively. The question is, do we really need to care about someone screwing it up on purpose or by accident? And they will find out eventually.
Even if you leave it harder to do, they can still screw it up, and they're more likely to.
Sure. You just need to take care of that we don't screw up the kernel in the process. So
don't take down the host, but otherwise let people burn their fingers.
So
I have code that allows you to add SM bias entries and a little bit of extra guardrails on the options settings. -O, X equals Y.
Yes, please.
It is worth 1,000 thank yous.
So I'm running CPU ID again, and to scroll down the various bits, the various feature bits, you can see that PSN process serial number is enabled. There's a processor serial number, and indeed, once we get down here, you can see that there is a processor serial number.
Beautiful.
And if you go down further for CPU 1, where is it? Yeah, CPU ID is a lot of stuff. You can see there's another serial number, and it's a different one. And those are the values that I added in the CPU ID configuration for bhyve.
Brilliant.
I haven't done any more interesting stuff with this yet. One of the things that I want to do is I want to fake this old Xeon to be an even older Core 2 Duo. Just because that's a machine I have around, and I can
and you can
snatch the CPU ID values from there. And with a 32-bit VM, you could actually put this way down to a 46 if you wanted to.
Oh, geile Scheiße.
I'm not sure it would still boot then, but should be
there's
possible.
only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is magnificent. And yes, John, that your type of work is precisely the parallel thing to just make handcraft a machine.
Okay.
I forget. Can one PayPal you at that address you've been using in public?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I will make that directly.
Thank you very much.
Okay, to put that in the doc because there's the formal things going on, and maybe I don't know if it's something for the open discussion, but this is what Hans has been working on, bringing in the Illumos code to FreeBSD to do the similar plumbing that they needed for live migration. How are you? And do you have any Sylve news? And of course, thank you, Hans. My gosh, this is very encouraging, and let's just keep it moving.
Hi guys, how are you all doing? The demo was great.
If you're done, Hans, I guess I'll jump back with that. Thank you. Cool. Fantastic. What do you have, Hazam, on your...
I had some stuff to show, but unfortunately, I'm not home right now.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah. But actually, if you guys want to test it out, it's already on Git. It's like VNC param stuff. So that's kind of cool. And we also redid the ZFS dashboard. So that's that.
A question for you. Patrick was wondering if you need help with porting. How far are you from wanting a draft port that people can try?
I think we are pretty much there. I will clean up some stuff, man page wise, and then I think we should be good to go.
And what dashboard did you revise? You said VNC improvements.
And ZFS dashboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh no, that sounds like 80% of a NAS. You just need an SMB server. Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh, and next week we're gonna have Samba shares and users and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir. Excellent. I should have. Oh, just, you didn't hear it from me, or maybe you did. I don't know. Should have Samba shares next week.
Yeah.
You are hyper converged in every definition of the, was it Taneja group definition from Mr. Arun Taneja, I believe. Anyway, hyper converged. Mark, has your project made any progress? I know we now have like two exciting, very, very exciting graphical efforts.
Yep, mine was on the OmniOS Solaris side of it. I haven't made much progress since because I've been pulled into testing and NVMe stuff and power calculations for a whole data center. So
Great, no worries. Oh, dude, I'm sure some good science is coming out of that too. Anyway,
it's all in Home Assistant is how I'm gathering it. It's kind of cool. So, but yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, feel free to apply for a travel grant request to say EuroBSDCon. You definitely have a EuroBhyvecon topic right here. And I know the foundation might be interested in so far as I believe they've helped you out.
That would be awesome. I mean, just ordered myself a, what are they called? A B-Link ME Mini miniature NAS system, and I was wondering what to put on it. So maybe just stock FreeBSD and Sylve. Let's see how that works out.
Cool.
I'll put the link in the chat. These things are you can put them in one hand, a small cube, and they take 6 NVMe drives. It's just,
I don't see a link. Oh, there it is. It just showed up. Let's take a peek. And I just ran a weekly, now that the snapshots landed, a build option survey, a light run on a B-Link because there's a lot of bang for the buck if you go with the AMD one. Patrick's new toy. New toy.
okay.
Take a peek here. That's not too negatively suggestive.
Each NVMe drive with just a single PCIe lane, unfortunately, but
a single. Oh, interesting. Okay.
One lane per M.2 slot, and one slot has 2 lanes, and that's it.
Is $200 US. Goodness. Is there an AMD version or just the Intel?
Just this one as is with the N150.
So is this Jeff Geerling incarnate? If you know what I mean.
Jeff Geerling did a video on it already.
Oh, he did. Okay. Whew, I was worried he didn't. Okay, so yes, there are a bunch of drives vertically mounted. I can see how that has an application. It's not, for like a either backup server or just ISO server, something that's just a bunch of not ridiculously performance oriented.
Just a thing to lug around to take to conferences, which is what I'm planning to do. I will try Z-Vault or TrueNAS Core first, because it's got only 12 gigabytes of memory, not upgradable, and FreeBSD has been more robust with memory pressure and ZFS than Linux by far. So before I try TrueNAS Community Edition, like they call it now, I will try Core or Z-Vault, or maybe FreeBSD and Sylve.
Very cool. So, I literally could not hope for more on all of this. Hezam, is it okay to talk openly about interest in supporting folks like Hans, or shall we do that after the recording?
Oh yes, I think it's pretty good. Like I have some like corporate guys who don't want to use Proxmox anymore for the reason that they kind of want API integration stuff.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So, and Proxmox API is like way too much for them. They just want very simple VM stuff. But the biggest blocker there for me is live migration, and they're kind of adamant about that. But then when I told them like there are some people who's very interested in working on this, and would you guys kind of like to fund it? And they were like, yeah, that sounds kind of nice. So I have a meeting with them. I think tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
Alrighty
So
then.
I'm just showing them Sylve tomorrow, as well as I'll just give them a rough idea about what the work kind of goes on with all this very technical stuff. Because the thing is, like, when I say live migration, they kind of get that. But when I say like, okay, CPU ID, and then there's this pass-through thing happening, it's very difficult to kind of get it through. So I'll try my best, and yeah.
It's difficult to get through even to people who understand it, because it's easier to complain about a lack of a feature than to understand the underlying features, like all the
Oh, exactly.
AMU
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And I even try to explain that to the foundation, like, look, we're missing high-level things because we're missing low-level things, and we can't invert those. There's no magical way to say we get well, at worst, we get a pretty GUI for live migration, but no plumbing under the hood. So thank you, everyone,
Exactly,
who's been
yeah.
a part of plumbing in all of this. And Hans, is that the correct email address that the world can look at? Because while there is your meeting tomorrow, I just want anyone with just more than a few copex and brain cells to help you out.
Yes, just
Great.
this my address.
Fantastic. Where should I put the, here's the CPI demo, please. Help support this work. PayPal to. So I will make that bright red. I will promote that. I know it's kind of email is email. I don't know. Yes, there should be some mystical organizations with accounts and blah 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 blah. But here and now, thank you for fixing that. Okay. This has been excellent. I mean, these are the topics that countless people have been hoping for years, arguably some from day one, when dreaming about, oh, bhyve could do all this stuff. Well, it's happening, and with the 15 deadline coming up, that is super, super exciting. That would be 18. So any other topics, questions, ideas here and now, or shall we call it good? Well, I'll say fantastic work, everyone. Thank you, Danke. Haizam, keep us posted. Good luck with the meeting. Great work, Hans. That was fantastic. I can't believe twice now you've said, oh my gosh, this is intimidating, but then you're like, oh, it was a little more linear and arguably easier than expected. Fantastic. That is the foundation for countless great things. John, if you have that SMB BIOS code, think about how that also gets in the mix of making handcrafted hardware machines. Awesome. Go ahead. You're unmuted.
I think I actually gave I gave you guys a diff for that a while back. Trying to remember the guy's name that was poking at it. Maybe.
I could search the doc for John, which is a great way. Fortunately, you're
Might be easier to search for SM bias.
Yeah, maybe. That was me probably. Get Mick. No, it's me. John has. No, that's me doing Windows slick things. Anyway, if you come across that, drop it in the doc, mail it, whatever works.
On a much more personal basis,
Yes.
I upgraded a Mac recently, and my Samba server stopped supporting the C time A time stuff correctly, even with rsync, and I have yet to figure out why.
Ew.
And the relation is that my Samba server runs in bhyve. There you go. On top of ZFS.
Keep us posted. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Like and subscribe. Follow Sleep to this so that we get our analytics up. We are at, I believe, 399 subscribers. which who wants to be that 400th? Maybe you get a free hypervisor. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye. Take care, folks. See you.